This is a story about the price of e-fame. Hi, I'm Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point News. A lot of us look back at the years 2014, 15, 16 as a sort of golden age of YouTube, time of Minecraft and Drama Alert and COD videos. And the point where I'd say it started to change to what it's become now, or at least what the news YouTube news or drama news had become. The turning point may have been with Bashurverse, now referred to as Toasty Time. Back in 2015, several other YouTubers accused Brandon Asher, Bashurverse, of raping anywhere between a 10 and 13-year-old girl when he was well over the age of 20. As it turned out, when Brandon was 18 years old, he sent inappropriate text messages to a 15-year-old girl when he was 18. Now, I'm certainly not excusing that, but do keep in mind, in the United States, 18-year-olds and 15-year-olds date each other all the time because that would be the difference between a sophomore and a senior. This was reported on the #1 news channel, that being Drama Alert at the time. And this began what looked like the end of Bashurverse and his brand. But after a little bit of research and this interview right here, the Bashurverse interview, a story of lies, betrayal, #Drama Alert, Bashur tells all, would be an actual turning point for Bashur. Bashur would probably become more famous in this 2015-16 time period than arguably how famous he had been before. He was a 1 million sub YouTuber, and they weren't as common back then, for sure. This particular interview of Drama Alert would somewhat vindicate Bashurverse. It seemed that the initial reports by Keemstar were inaccurate. In this interview, he apologized to them, and they made it abundantly clear that what he was accused of, the rumors that were swirling around, were nowhere even close to any kind of equivalence to what he was actually charged and convicted of. Bashur would become somewhat of a running theme through Drama Alert. He'd be on several more episodes, increasing his public profile and going on to have different dramas of his own. But as is the story with most e-fame, stars tend to fade and sometimes die. Bashur's star did eventually start to fade. I remember an incident when I was on the Baited podcast with Keemstar, and just before we had actually started the podcast, Bashur was threatening to sue Keemstar over the so-called rumors that he had spread, even though he had already actually corrected them. I can personally attest that Keem was pretty upset by this, and he felt stabbed in the back, rightfully so. And due to the fact that he was under a ton of pressure from other YouTubers, powerful YouTubers like Leafy and Grade, it made it that much worse. But that would be the point where we'd see Bashur go away. He would delete his Twitch account, blacken his Twitter, and his YouTube. 2017 would come and go. 2018 would come and go. And in late 2019, Keemstar would announce a reunification of sorts, putting Bashur on his Minecraft show, Monday Night Minecraft. And of course, Bashur was a Minecraft user. We wouldn't really hear too much about Bashur even during that time until, unfortunately, today. Bashur would write a very disturbing Twitter thread on his timeline. I'll read it to you now. Leaving this world I never asked to be in to begin with. I leave you with this. The world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do. I hope there's something more after this life. I had a feeling I would make it that far. It's obvious my career is dead. I lost my life. I've lost my wife. I've lost everything. I thought I could recover from the slander that happened to me years ago, but honestly, it's too much. My wife was a rock. I have no reason to be here anymore. Now, referring to his wife, I think I'm assuming he's referring to his longtime girlfriend, Clara Baby Legs. I have not been able to confirm if they were actually ever wed or he got married between the years of 2000 17, 18, or 19, I have a feeling we'll be doing a follow-up in the story to clear all that up as we get it in. I'm already getting notifications that this story is rapidly developing. Again, we have no idea whether he's talking about Clara Baby Legs. Clara Baby Legs put a message on her timeline all the way back in 2017 saying they had broke up. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this story, because it's a guaranteed no monetization story, I like to spread the word. I like to spread the word that this guy's in trouble and he may need help. When somebody makes, this is clearly a side threat. There's no two ways to look at it. And obviously, Bashur is in a lot of pain, and we hope he gets the help he needs. I am getting unconfirmed reports right now that he has already been taken to a hospital. Again, these are unconfirmed reports, and they should be treated as rumor. And I guess if I have to say anything else about this, I mean, the Bashur story was, from my perspective, somebody that wasn't involved in this, a lot of fun. It was a story of redemption and an inside look on, really, in a lot of ways, how plastic, how superficial YouTubers really are. It was a story about how YouTube relationships mean absolutely nothing if they are in the way of cash, fame, and sometimes just attention and none of the above. Nothing ever ceases to amaze me. Nothing. I've experienced this myself. And when I was on a channel called The Joe Cronin Show, when we're talking channels below 10,000 or just slightly above, how cutthroat that could be, how relationships form and they can turn south just on the possible opportunity to moving into the next rung. And that's the one theme that YouTube drama seems to have that is continuous. Who's moving up and who's moving down. It's more of a stock market than it actually is news at the end of the day. It's the report on the current popularity contest. And the thing is, the public can be manipulated. They can be manipulated for and against a YouTuber, somebody they wouldn't normally support if the story is presented the right way. Public can be coaxed into supporting that person. And just the opposite. They can be torn away from somebody they would normally support if the story was presented properly to them. It's one of the things I find most fascinating about whatever this business, if it is one, is. I do wish the best for Bashur. I hope the story spreads. I hope other news channels pick this up and spread it. The Bashur story was, once it got cleared up of what he actually did, was kind of fun. I remember Colossal's Crazy's video on the Bashur story. It's probably really one of the best ones. And I think I'm going to put it in the description box below. Although it does mock Bashur, I think it gives really good insight on what this situation was between Bashur and Clara Baby Legs. It was a better time back then. But again, I want to point out, it also started to change. I think it was Bashur then, and it slowly turned into, and that's what it is in 2019. And these types of actual scandalous stories that unfortunately mostly involve kids, or the accusation of abusing kids, are just way too common now. And in a lot of cases, like in this Lazo case, we found out there's not much to it. Bashur was the first. And I wish I could say it was the last. Again, if there's any more developments in this story, we'll be sure to bring them to you. We wish the best to Bashur. I hope things get straightened out. There's a lot more to life than YouTube. I think that's one of the problems on here when young people hit it big, and this is what you get the expectation that this is what you're going to do the rest of your life because of the amount of money that's coming in. it's not usually the case. Not everybody can be Keemstar, KSI, and YouTube royalty such as that. That this is you're very, very lucky if you get just a flash, and I had that flash, and I appreciate it. I think when we talk about YouTube celebrity, when these gaming channels make it, I think if we start to talk about that this is more than likely, overwhelming odds, a year, maybe two, I think we'll see a lot less of this, because nobody wants this. Not me, not you, not anybody. Bashur buddy, I hope you get some help.